So demand generation for me is education. It's educating the market and your customers and prospects on how you can actually help them. And that starts with us really understanding them and understanding their challenges. And then from there, really matching their challenges to the solutions that we provide and how we can actually help them.
Cristina, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
What's the weather in Boston?
It's nice today. Finally, we had a horrible weekend, but today is
Okay,
much
gotcha.
better.
Do you ever go to San Fran? Do you have to go for work at all, or are you typically just on the East Coast?
Yeah, I'm mostly on the East Coast, but I have been to San Fran. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I've been to that office as well. Long story. We'll do that as a
Nice.
separate
Yeah.
podcast episode. Yeah. Christina, I think the real meat and potatoes of what I wanted to chat with you today about is demand generation. What does that
Mhm.
look like for you at enterprise level, B2B? Your buyers are as sophisticated as they can be.
Mhm.
Can you share a little bit more about what is it that you're looking for? What would be some of the tactics that you would be using to attract the right people into your funnel?
Yeah, absolutely. So demand generation for me is education. It's educating the market and your customers and prospects on how you can actually help them. And that starts with us really understanding them and understanding their challenges. And then from there, really matching their challenges to the solutions that we provide and how we can actually help them. So for us, it's like you said, it's a very technical buyer. So it's very technical. It's really understanding and honing into the messaging that is going to work with them and it's going to resonate. And then
Yeah.
putting together campaigns that we can run throughout the year to go to market with content, events, experiences, anything that we can do to really be in front of our customers.
Would you say you would on a spend level, is there more money spent on demand generation than more bottom of funnel as you're going down, or is it the opposite? You spend more money as you're closer to that sale?
We definitely spend more money on demand generation. We last year we entered a new category, unified observability. So there's a lot of
Yeah,
education to be done. And yeah, there's a lot of top of the funnel content and experiences that we have to develop. Yeah, we
sure.
definitely spend more on the top of the funnel, I would say.
I like that. And by the way, my knowledge of Riverbed is WAN optimization. And that was a long time ago. So I can
Yep.
understand that you guys you're a different company today than
Yeah,
you were.
absolutely.
So let's go back, right? So these demand generation efforts are so hard to measure because you're
Mhm.
letting the world know, you're educating, and oftentimes there is no opt-in to get any information. Everything is like free. So how do you measure, Christina? How do you measure the efficacy of your efforts?
Yeah, so our ultimate goal is always pipeline generation for the sales team. So working very closely with sales to really make sure that they are taking whatever we are producing in terms of the funnel and people coming and engaging that to taking that all the way down to pipeline. And like you're saying, it's a long sales cycle. It's a long time
Yeah.
from where you're serving content to someone to all the way, getting them all the way to opportunities. So we measure the entire funnel. We measure leads, MQLs, SQLs. We measure engagement, traffic on the site. Once we launch a campaign, we pay attention to, are we engaging more folks, or do we have more traffic to this specific product site or whatever it is that we're trying to promote?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different metrics, but ultimately it all comes down to pipeline and really making sure that we are supporting the business pipeline.
What does your marketing stack look like?
So we have tried to reduce our marketing stack because I feel like 5, 10 years ago, we were all trying to buy all the latest technology. And we are now seeing that you don't need that much technology. What you really need is the basics. But we have obviously our CRM and our marketing automation platform. We have technology for webinars and events, so for virtual experiences. And then we have an ABM platform that helps us with more of the account-based advertising and account-based view and all of that. So
Gotcha.
that's essentially, yeah, our the main pillars of our stack.
Sure. For you doing enterprise B2B marketing, are you mostly in, say, LinkedIn, or are you doing things on YouTube? Are you testing TikTok? Do you think there's anything there for you at least?
Yeah, so we haven't started on TikTok. LinkedIn is a big part of our channel. It
Yeah,
is a big channel for us. So we are on LinkedIn for sure. And then we try to be more niche and go find publications and other communities where we know our customers are reading and getting information for work. So we have a few publications that we partner with and try to syndicate content there or have our ads there. But yeah, in terms of the big social media things, we're on LinkedIn. We do a little bit of Facebook, but mostly LinkedIn. Yeah.
and what about any kind of short form content creation? Is that happening behind the scenes,
Yeah.
taking
So
longer?
we have a lot of short videos on our website. So when we do explainer videos and things like that, we usually cut them up into a few different pieces. And so we have a lot of that on our own website. We do have a YouTube channel that we also post videos to.
Sure.
It's just not a huge channel for us. It does
Right.
get some traffic, but it's not our main source of traffic. And then we do short form content on LinkedIn too. So we'll post it on
Got it.
LinkedIn and then drive to the longer webinar or video or whatever it is.
Absolutely. I would say for you, someone who's got to look at so many pieces of metrics, what are a couple of top things you're looking at every day, Christina, when you're having your
Yep.
team meetings and so on?
Yeah, so pipeline is definitely the main one that I look at it every single
Okay.
day. And when we see new pipeline come in, then we dig into it and we say, okay, what was this pipeline? Was it expected? Did we know this was coming? Usually we know what's coming. Sometimes if you get a new opportunity or something, we'll go back and look at what is the opportunity? Who's the seller? Where did it come from? What are the touch points that got us to that opportunity? So that's really like that feedback loop for ourselves to really understand what's working.
Sure. From your experience, you've been there for a long time and you've done some other
Mm.
things as well. What would you say is like the biggest challenge for you driving demand when
Yeah.
you have such diverse products, different types of companies that you guys serve? They're not always the same kind of cookie cutter
Yeah.
businesses. Their challenges are very different. What are your challenges as you're trying to push through the noise, the competitors' content and whatever else?
Yeah. I think our biggest challenge is attribution. And it's not just attribution to say, hey, look how cool we are and this is how much we brought to the business. It's really attribution to understand what's working and what's not working, right?
Sure.
What are the channels that are working? What are the tactics that are working? Where are customers? How can we get in front of them? So really attributing, like I said, the pipeline, the opportunities to the specific touch points that we put that people through to get to the opportunity. That is the biggest piece because our sales cycle is long. So it's very hard to go back months and months
Sure.
to really understand all the touch points. It's hard to attribute everything. As we all know now with our social and a lot of other things that are just not
Right.
attributable. You don't know where the customer has been getting information. It's attribution is a very big part of making our lives harder right now.
Yeah, especially when you don't have any kind of like opt-ins or
Mhm.
emails, or you're not capturing anything. They're just like a browser, you're just visiting
Exactly.
your page and watching a video. I think something you said earlier, it's still in my head, which is in order to help them, you need to know about them more. Do you remember how you said,
Mhm. Yep.
I got to understand my buyer?
Mhm.
So how does that look like to you? What does that look like for your team? How do you learn more about your buyer? I think that's a very good question for any marketer and
Yeah,
any.
absolutely. Yeah, so we do a lot of different things. Obviously, we work with our sales team very closely, so we know what the conversations they're having, what they're hearing from from our customers, the market, and then any opportunities that we have to be in front of our customers ourselves. So, be it events, roundtables. We used to have a CAB. We're now like transforming that by a customer advisory board. Any meetings where we can be, even if it's just being a fly on the wall and listening and really understanding what they're saying, we take all the opportunities that we can to be in front of customers.
Are you guys playing with, when I say playing, I mean it seriously, with
Yeah.
AI? Are you incorporating any AI into your marketing, into your strategy or analytics or anything like that?
Yeah. So obviously all of the tools that we use or most of them have AI, right? So there's always
Right.
an AI component and making sure that any models that you're building, anything that you're trying to forecast, things like that, all of that always has some portion of AI behind it. But then also with simpler things like ChatGPT, we use it to refine our content. It won't write all of your content. If you
Right.
have a start, you put it in there. It really can help accelerate the content development piece. So yeah, we are using AI and we're all a fan of it.
Do you feel like that's allowing you to create or your team to create more in shorter time? Has that like,
Yeah.
have you
It's
seen that?
Yeah, it's definitely making the process shorter and we can just produce more content in less amount of time. Like I said, I don't think it'll take our jobs anytime soon. You definitely need a human behind it and you need
Sure.
to start the process and have your ideas very clearly. But once you have ChatGPT, you can definitely spit out a sequence of emails in a very
Absolutely.
short amount of time.
Have you tried the Bard, just the Google version yet?
I haven't tried it. No.
Okay. Yes. I played
Is
around
it
with
good?
it.
Have you tried it?
Yeah. I mean, it's different, but yes, it's very similar. It gives you different kind of output,
Right.
different formats. So you get to pick the one that you want. I was going to say, from all of the things that you do, Christina, webinars, events, is there something that you feel like works better or brings home? It's like the 80-20 rule. If
Yeah.
I think about all the things a B2B marketer has to do, I think it's stressful. Have you seen anything that sort of work? They're
Yeah.
obviously all good.
Yeah, I always say that you have to have a marketing mix, right? Like you have to have a mix of tactics. There's no one thing that will be the one thing that you
Sure.
cancel everything else.
Fill a void.
But yeah, but one thing that has been working really well for us this year has been smaller virtual roundtables. So instead of trying to go after like hundreds of people, you pick like your 4, 5, 6 accounts that you want to go after and you get the leaders in those companies together and talking about a topic. And those have been really successful for us. It really helps us put our message in front of them. And it's not in a salesy way. It's really
Right.
just hearing from them and really offering this is how we see it. And this is our point of view and how our product solves these problems. That type of more intimate setting has really worked out for us very well.
I'm assuming that's virtual.
Yes, virtual.
Okay, got it. And you are managing a whole entire team. Have
Mm.
you ever had to deal with kind of like getting the team aligned with these bigger goals of pipeline, but they're like, no, we should work on the creative and let's go make a
Mhm.
new video. What do you do in those situations? I'm sure that happens. You're going this way and everybody else is having fun with Chat GPT or something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I always go back to our goals, right? Like at the beginning of the quarter, we all sit down and go through our goals and set what our goals are going to be for the quarter. And so then whenever we have someone asking us to do something different or, hey, we have this idea, everybody has always great ideas for marketing. We just go back to the goals and we say, does it align with the goals? And if it does, then great, let's explore it. If it doesn't,
Right.
then hey, great idea. We would love to explore it, but it's just not the quarter when we can spend time on it.
Sure. Are there like mini sprints happening internally?
Yeah, we do. We don't do sprints, but we do like project based things. We'll have projects that run like 2, 3 weeks, and yeah, so that those get us to the bigger goal.
Absolutely. I think this is going to be my last question, Christina.
Okay.
When you started, I don't know how long that was ago, but what is one piece of advice that you would have given yourself, knowing what you know now about what you were about to get into?
Yeah.
What is something you wish somebody told you that would have prepped you better?
Yeah, I would say just learn use all the content. We didn't have this much content out there when I was starting out.
Yeah.
Today, there's so much free content. Just read and listen to podcasts and watch webinars and just take the time to learn outside, your day job. Just block a few hours every week and just force yourself to watch a webinar or listen to a podcast that you bookmarked and never listened to or things like that. Because yeah, there's so much content out there. There's so many people sharing really great stories and experiences. And it's just an easy way for you to upskill yourself and really teach yourself how to do things better.
I agree. Are there any specific podcasts that you'd like to recommend or books or
Um,
courses or any
yeah.
subject?
Oh, there's so many, but yeah, podcasts. I love Nick Bennett's The Anonymous Marketer one. That is a go-to for me. And yeah, any marketing ones, there's so many out there. Yeah, just search for marketing and you'll find tons.
That is the problem. I think marketers create too much content.
Yeah.
That research marketing, it's going to be several hundred pages of
Yeah,
content.
that's true. Yeah, too many.
One problem. Yeah. If you search, I don't know, law, maybe you're going to find a lot less, but man,
Yeah,
marketing, forget about it.
for sure.
I almost feel like we need a Chat GPT because when you search for something in marketing in Google, you're
Mm,
never going to find it.
yeah.
We have a
Yeah.
content surplus problem. Christina, last question. Any piece of advice for somebody who is going into that role of someone who's going to be a marketing manager or a global director of marketing,
Yeah.
something along those lines? What piece of advice would you give to that person?
Yeah, I would say be curious and be curious not just about your role and what you're trying to do, but be curious about other parts of the company. Learn so much from other people. Just sit down one on one with other folks and ask them, right? What does your day look like? What are you focused on? What are you learning? What are you trying to achieve? And really try to connect the dots between your work and what others are trying to do across the company. I think that's very important. Sometimes marketers tend to we put our blinders on and just focus on our own stuff, but you have to connect your work to the rest of the business, and
I agree.
talking to people is the best way to do that.
I agree. That was a great piece of advice. Thank you so much for joining me today, Christina.
Thank you, Salman.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.